Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Prime Time. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?
It's a lovely Friday morning. Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to Ray's Breakfast. Hashtag what are you saying? That early morning breakfast show that comes your way every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. My name is Oluchi Omenka. And of course, I'm not here alone. I'm here with the full squad, and we're glad to have you join us. On today's show, we'll be looking at another sector a little bit different from our usual tech conversation. We'll be talking about a little bit of climate change, a bit of fossil fuel, and a bit of compressed natural gas, which will make a masterpiece on today's episode. And of course, we have a guest who will be joining us later in the show. Let's meet the ladies. Hi, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's Friday. Do you know my song when I entered into the studio today?
Tell me.
I said, I'm about to laugh right now, but I was really singing and thanking God that thank you for seeing me through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This week has been the longest. When I mean longest, I've had to deal with a whole lot of things. And seeing that it's Friday, it now reminds me of the fact that we're actually more capable than we think. In the sense that you shouldn't always be overwhelmed with how, some circumstances can, be. You should just trust that it will eventually fade and pass, and you will be fine at the end of the day. And that's my testimony for the week. I know you're not expecting any testimony, but honestly,
Speaking of
this week has testimonies. All right, share yours.
Speaking of testimonies for the week, I mean, if there's something I suffered this week, is sleep. I did not. I can boldly say that all through this week, from Monday through Friday, I can boldly say I had like 3 hours sleep through the night or 4 hours sleep. This Thursday, overnight, Friday, I barely slept like 2-3 hours. But one thing I always tell God is that, God, please, each time I finally wake up, ensure that I'm not looking stressed, and ensure that I'm not having eye bags, and
it's
I'm
showing.
not acting. I know it's showing, but I just want to ensure that I'm not acting all sleepy and dull. And I think from Monday till this present moment, I'm still not looking dull, except my eyes are selling me out.
How about you guys, Riti? Tell us your own testimonies. Testimony
There's
time.
no testimony to give. I'm just good. I'm grateful for life,
That's a testimony already.
That's a testimony in itself.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
I'm testifying. The Lord's doing. I'm alive. I'm active.
All right,
yes,
that's good.
I'm active. So
It's Friday, so we have weekend plans, I guess.
Weekend plan, like they say, is to enjoy my rent and mind my business.
Yes, weekend plan. Tomorrow. I don't know what tomorrow brings, but I'm somehow, excited. I'm going to this place interesting, and even I'm going to work. Yeah, I'm going to work, but you know how much I love my work. So,
Exactly.
Yeah. I can't wait to go and, oh yes, I'm active.
Some
so, yeah.
outdoor stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you've been indoor all while, all the
And
while.
it's something that I really don't like, to be honest.
If there's something like we have to take from ourselves, what I'll take from her is that outdoor spirit. I mean, I don't have
We
it.
outside gang.
I don't have that outdoor. The fact that we're entering a car, we're driving to another location gives me headache, especially when there's traffic. It stresses me mentally. It gives me headache. When I'm getting there, I'm seeing stars in my head. So it stresses me out.
Honestly.
So I wish I have that outdoor spirit.
Hey.
Well, I don't wish. I mean, I like to be in my space. Just call me when there's money that they're sharing. And I'm going to be outside.
That's what the spirit is. I mean.
All right, today's edition is a special one because we're having student guests join us. And we'll be having more student guests join our shows, as the days go by. Of course, we'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll look to the headlines making waves across the Nigerian newspaper and, of course, the New York Times. So please stay with us. We'll be right back shortly. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. We've got a packed show, but before we continue, we'd like you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV. Turn on your notification, be part of our conversation always. Let's take the headlines across the Nigerian newspaper. I'll be starting with The Punch. The major headline reads, Cabinet Reshuffle. Presidency defends Tinubu as federal government slashes ministers' vehicles and aids. Federal government differs as Clark others allege lopsidedness. Tinubu seeks Senate confirmation. Tropical storm leaves 24 dead in Philippines flooding. Military NEMA combs sea for crashed helicopter passengers. Police hunts gunmen as 9 killed in fresh Anambra attack. Pensioners threaten protests as federal government and 4 states owe 193 billion naira. Naira devaluation pushes federal government state debt to 134 trillion naira. Broken aircraft windscreen aborts Shetima's Samoa's trip. Senate okays 15% state funding for regional development commissions. And for the Ondo governorship poll, the detail there is APC, PDP, others prepare for mock accreditation. Ayedatiwa prioritizes health. NNPP queries governor's manifesto. And that's all we have for The Punch. Yesterday, it was all over the newspapers, Punch, Guardian, and everything about the cabinet reshuffle. You know, major TV houses even carried it, and it's been on everyone's lip. Now, this is the one that caught my attention. We were just talking about the reshuffling, but it says here that the presidency has also slashed some benefits that these ministers have, like their vehicles and aids. Now, let me give you the breakdown as I saw it on The Punch. It says here that no additional vehicles will be assigned to them for movement. The president affirmed in a statement he signed on Thursday. The special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, who released the statement, says the cost-cutting measure was announced on Thursday. Let me go to more details. Tinubu issued a directive which the presidency said was to reduce government expenditure. The directive included reducing his entourage on foreign trips from 50 to 20 officials. For local trips, he reduced it to 25 officials. Similarly, he reduced the vice president's entourage to 5 officials on foreign trips and 15 for local trips. In the directive, Tinubu also ordered all ministers and ministers of state and heads of agency to have at most 5 security personnel attached to them. And the security team will comprise of 4 police officers and 1 Department of State security officer. No additional security personnel will be assigned, he ordered. And that's what the statement read. So guys, what do you think about this new thing? I'm saying it from a more positive lens. You know, there's a lot of frivolous spending when it comes to these people in power, a whole lot, and we know what goes on there. We know that it's just, it makes people question, especially when we know that the average Nigerians can't afford certain things, and we're seeing the people in power riding different jets, having a lot of entourage. What's really going on? So seeing that, of course, ministers are being reshuffled and everything, and putting this initiative, it's a bit positive in that sense. It's really positive, and I like it, because why would you have so many entourage following you? 5 is okay, you are going to be safe. If you know that you're not safe, then you should do more to ensure that the security in your nation. Do you understand? So I really, really like this, and I hope that it doesn't just go for the ministers, but those on top.
Spread across.
So even our president and our vice should cut down on some things. We can focus on what's important.
Do you know that if most of these things are constitutionally backed, do you know that if most of these things are constitutionally backed, we will not be facing all these kind of things? Yeah, because now that you're bringing out this this rule now, right? Because it's not a law. Neither is it a bill, because I mean the National Assembly, I don't think they have anything to do with this, since he's just the one stating it and it's happening right now. So I will call it rules, right? Yeah. So since you already have these rules, why not let it be signed by 2/3 majority of the National Assembly, and it should just be passed to be law, right?
I can already guess how it will be received. I can already guess
that it guides everybody, because even the next person coming, this law and this rule that he has stated now is just for these people. So at the end of the day, if they go, that means they go back to the way it was. It should be signed into the constitution so that we know what it looks like. Do you get what I'm saying?
I think you should also cut across board. I mean, the president himself should try to live by example. If you are saying you will cut down on the security, the cars for the ministers, we understand you are the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and you need as much security and convoy as possible. But we can also cut down on the number of cars, the fleet of cars, the entourage, the convoy, and also it should also spread across all senators, Wike, everybody. I mean, everybody, the senators.
Wike is on the mouth of everyone.
So
it should
with the
very charismatic.
With the good things he said, the good things he says, of course he has to be.
He promises
his name has
to
to be. Yeah.
You know, someone that is very charismatic will always be on the mouth of people. Do you see how he speaks? Very confident.
Yeah.
Uju was very confident. Uju Kennedy was very confident, but she was removed. Let's move to the Guardian
she didn't get
newspaper.
She's not getting our
I get it. It was. I understand you're talking about the opposite thing, but she was
opposite.
Maybe not. But she was also outspoken. She was always
we
there.
need to put in our group chat.
According to Rufai, she doesn't have like a good character or something. So
I don't think it matters. All we need to do is your professional attributes, right?
But if you're saying the right things and you're probably using the wrong, using the, it's just like the way somebody will say when you're passing information. I don't mean to be rude, but the way I've said it, all the tone
already appears.
Okay, let's leave it at that.
All right, let's see what the.
All right, moving straight to the Guardian newspaper. The major headline reads: "Call for military intervention. Misery harsh policies drive Nigerians to desperate choices." And right beside it, federal government begins reform of obsolete laws. Nigeria records 83 poliovirus type 2 cases. Court picks November 14 and 20 to hear from Yahaya Bello. Helicopter crash. NSIB begins probe as search continues for missing passengers. And of course, on the cabinet reshuffle, which is making headline again, Tinubu orders cost-cutting measures as Senate begins screening on Tuesday. No deadline on old Naira notes, says CBN, as rest pushes for new ones. And there's this picture of Kaduso, the CBN governor. The next story says, U.S. grateful as ailing Binance chief departs Nigeria after 8 months. Lagos Ogun urges residents of low-lying areas to relocate over water release from oil dam. And the final story reads, troops arrest IPOP founder, commander kills 140 terrorists. And the story I will be talking about is no other one but the water release. I'll just move straight to the details of the story. The Lagos state government has reiterated its call for residents and property owners in low-lying areas to relocate to higher grounds following the systemic release of water from Ogun Dam. The Commission for Environment and Water Resources, Tokumbo Wahab, made this appeal during a tour of flood-affected areas, assuring residents that measures are in place to manage the situation effectively. Addressing journalists, Wahab emphasized the ministry has undertaken extensive awareness campaigns concerning the water release over the past few weeks. This has been in different pages of news outlets. I've seen the water flowing. And the reason I'm picking it is because it's affecting a part of the area I stay in. The other side of Bega, there's a place called Opik.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it is. When I saw the video of it, it was no fun at all. There was water everywhere. At the moment, they had to devise a means to pass through the water. They now make use of like a flowing fridge, or a spoiled fridge, or like a canoe rather, to move from one place to another, and it's really, really sad. So now, the Lagos the Lagos police. I take that again, Lagos Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources and Ogun State, because that place automatically falls under Ogun State, is saying they should try to live there for now. The same way it's affecting Opik area, which is the Long Bridge, the Redeem side. It's also affecting the Maitu area, K2, Axis, and it's not funny at all. So people in that area, in as much as we know that it might appear really hard, I suggest, I think that's what I can say. I suggest you live there for now and then take all your properties and maybe lift them up. I've witnessed flood before, not once, not twice. And it's a very terrible experience.
All right, that's be all right eventually. Please just, follow, or do I say, take the suggestion of Mira. And let's really go straight to the international newspaper. New York Times, by the right side of the newspaper, we have Grand Old Party, that's the GOP drive for early vote gains traction. Stark turnabout even as misgivings linger. Next to that, voters strain under deluge of untruth, misinformation claims to a studied news pick. All right, but the left side of the newspaper, North Korean troops aid Russia in war. United States calls move a sign of Putin's desperation. Next to that, drug makers has a secret in Alzheimer's trial. Beneath that, we have doctor fearing outrage, slow in gender study. Next to that, which is the last headline on the newspaper, says the quiet, stubborn aversion to putting a woman in power. The headline I want to quickly touch on is the doctor fearing outrage, slow in gender study. I feel like that's something that is really pressing right now. Do I say pressing, or just what's going on and we just, we're somehow living in this dululu again? Probably because of, here in Nigeria, we've not really accepted it. And that's about the transgender and all of that. All right, Dr. Johanna Olsen Kennedy, a leading doctor involved in treatment for transgender adolescents, started a study in 2015 to see how puberty blockers affect young people. Now, puberty blockers are medications that stop the body from developing physical changes like breast and a deeper voice, which can cause distress in some transgender children. Her study followed 95 children for 2 years to check if their mental health improved after using puberty blockers. This research was inspired by an earlier study that showed positive mental health outcome for transgender youth using these blockers. However, Dr. Alton Kennedy study. Give me a minute. All right. Okay, study in the United States did not find the same mental health improvement. So I think enough of me reading. What this place is just trying to say is that, first of all, I'm a bit surprised that they are not like puberty blockers that these adolescents can actually take.
So it's trying to inhibit puberty.
Exactly.
So they don't develop.
So let me give an example. For women that want to be men, right? When you just take this, your breast won't grow again. That's what it is. So you grow normal, like you grow to become an adult and all of that, but you won't have breast.
That means they pick it from adolescents and teenagers.
Exactly.
Wow,
so same goes to the guys as well. For those that want to be, women, you won't have like deeper voice. You just have normal, calm woman voice and
okay,
all
the
of
same
that.
way they take testosterone, testosterone
exactly.
drugs,
But
they are
those
not
ones
starting
are
at an early age.
God bless
And that's
you.
where the problem is. Because I
don't
thought
know if that's
consent is supposed to be a thing.
yes,
and
they
puberty
consent
would
to
not
it.
start until, like consent age is usually 18, 16. Puberty these days start from 13. Can you say a 13-year-old can decide?
It depends on the parents again. We're talking about the United States. You know how their own style and all of these things
Every
are.
country, their
exactly. So I'm very sure that, and this normal mentality of, when you listen to most of this transgender, they'll tell you that, oh, I've always known that I want to be a woman. I've always known that. Exactly. So I feel like once they see those, when they start speaking to the adolescents and they're like, oh, I want to be a woman, or the guy saying I want to be a woman and the girl saying I want to be a man and all of that, probably the parents give their consent for them to start
what do you expect from a home where they are lesbian parents or they are gay parents?
But now the research is, okay, if they have taken this, puberty blockers now, how do they feel mentally? Are they okay? Are they happy? Are they happy that, oh, okay, thank God that, okay, I'm not this person that I want to be and all of that. But she's yet to know what their mental status is like, and that's where the problem is. So she doesn't know how to pass the information to the United States government to say that, okay, this puberty whatever is working in some people. They are happy. They're always happy. They're excited that this is since they have always wanted to be like this is how they are now. But she's not sure. So let's see how it goes. See, probably she's able to get the results of all of these things. So yeah.
All right, that's all we can take for the headline stories this morning. We'll take a short break. When we return, we're going straight to the main topic discussion for today. We're talking about CNG. I want to answer the question, can CNG replace petrol in Nigeria? So please stay with us. We'll be right back shortly.
Imagine the world where the voices of the youth finally get the spotlight they deserve.
Welcome to Ways Breakfast, the groundbreaking show where young minds unite together to tackle issues that truly matter.
We're flipping the script on traditional morning talk shows, and this is your chance to hear the youth speak out.
We're not just skimming headlines, we're diving deep into the heart of topics that impact us all.
From politics to governance, tech innovations, mental health, and trendy social issues.
We don't just discuss, we ignite conversations that inspire change and spark action.
Join us every morning for fresh, young, and vibrant perspectives
that empowers the next generation to make a difference.
Start your day right with Ways Breakfast, because when the youth speak, the world listens. Ways Breakfast, weekdays at 8 a.m. live on Upgrade TV.
Looking to take your business to the next level through partnerships? Then join us every Thursday at 10 a.m. for Partner Up.
Whether you're an entrepreneur, marketing, sales, or partnership professional, Partner Up is here to give you the tools you need to succeed.
From in-depth interviews with industry experts
to real-world case studies of successful partnership strategies that drive innovation and business growth.
we dive deep into what it takes to form successful partnerships.
Thursdays, 10 a.m.
Don't miss Partner Up.
Nigeria, by extension, Africa, is faced with a lot of challenges.
With the growing youth population and very little engagement.
That is a ticking time bomb.
We're blessed people with a diverse culture who have a lot to say.
And yes, we are talking.
It is important we drive conversations that informs, inspires, and influences thoughts and actions.
If we say there is beauty in diversity, then let us embrace our diverse culture.
We must continue to courageously be the voice of transformation.
As we are the hope for the future, yesterday's conversation shaped today.
What are you saying to shape your tomorrow?
We know you have a lot to say, and we are here to hear you.
Welcome back. So our topic for today is, can CNG replace petrol in Nigeria? As the country grapples with soaring petrol prices, many are turning their attention to compressed natural gas, also known as CNG, as a potential alternative, as President Tinubu tells Nigerians to either buy petrol for 1,000 naira or CNG for 200 naira. However, the recent incident of CNG cars catching fires raised urgent safety concerns. In a nation already facing the impact of climate change, we must ask whether CNG is truly a viable solution or merely a temporary fix. Today, we're going to explore the pros and the cons of CNG in the context of Nigeria's fuel crisis and its implications for our environment. To join us is a passionate environmentalist committed to sustainability and the promotion of eco-friendly practices. He's also a team member of Zero Plastic Straw Community. Join us as we welcome Okpebi Azaya Okpeyemi, our first student guest for the year 2024. Hi, Azaya. Did you enjoy your intro and your bio reading?
I love that.
All right, I like that. You like that. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, I feel good.
All right. I like what you're doing. It says you're a team member of the Zero Plastic Straw Community. Can you just give us a hint to what your community is about before we go into the technical discussion for today?
All right. So Zero Plastic Straw Community is envisioned to teach young adults climate justice, and also making them aware or bringing the awareness of climate change to them. We realize that aside from the fact that we are shouting climate change, different stuff each day, we realize that a few number of people are really educated as to what climate change actually means. So we saw that, okay, there is this saying that charity begins at home. So why don't we bring the discussion to the grassroots level? That's to the growing, to the children that are growing up or young adults that are growing up. So that way, it also prepares them ahead of the future. So I think, yeah.
That's interesting. So let's dive straight into the conversation for today. We're discussing CNG, compressed natural gas. And we want to talk about this with the Nigerian context in view. We know that there's been the rising price of fuel, 1,000 today, 1,200 tomorrow. It's just a lot of things going on right now. And then we're seeing CNG as an alternative that is actually promising. But then there's been questions. People are worried. People are really wondering if this is the real alternative that we're looking for. But let's start with even understanding what this CNG stuff is all about by firstly explaining the disadvantages and advantages, more like the pros and cons of it.
Okay.
Very basic.
Okay. So one of the advantages, right, which you actually made mention while you were trying to introduce the topic, one of the advantages of CNG is that it's way less cheaper than petroleum, of course. There was a point that we could buy petroleum for 65 naira. But who would have ever imagined that would be at this point?
1,000 plus.
What would be buying for 1,000
1,300.
Okay. Exactly. So, but CNG provides us a way cheaper solution, right? And also, environmental benefit, of course. It reduces carbon footprint, right? So it reduces the emission of carbon dioxide and any other dangerous carbons as well. And we'll also be talking about the domestic supply as well. So that means that as Nigerians, right, we don't really need to go out to import, what's it called, CNG, because we actually have these natural gases here with us, right? So it saves us that stress to have to, like, I think the only thing that we can just have right now is like creating infrastructures to bring in, to refine the gases. But we have the gases here. So we don't need to, okay, we are importing gases or we are exporting gases. So except if we want to export the gases, but we have the gases within us available here.
Interesting.
I think he has not mentioned the disadvantage.
I was going to ask about it again.
Okay.
CNG gas, it is believed to be the safest among all other gas, even more than our own cooking gas in our houses. But right now, we are seeing videos of burnt cars. At the moment, Nigerians are not accepting CNG because we are probably trying to fill it up at the gas station and then it blows off. Boom. Or maybe in the sun you're driving and the temperature is on the high side and it blows off. So at the moment, you talked about climate change. I want to go back to climate change. Yes, carpooling. Oh, because for climate change, let's ensure carpooling. Let's not emit too much car exhaust in the air, this. But when you're making use of CNG, it will probably reduce that thing. That's all right. But what causes it to burn? Because let's talk about the disadvantage. Because right now, Nigerians are not having it at all.
Okay. I don't know if you saw that trending video. I think we just played it right now of a car that got burnt.
Burnt, yes.
Yeah,
so people, I'm so sorry, people have to go out to the extent of saying, if you know you're changing your car to CNG, put something on top of your car. That, okay, this is a CNG car. So when we are driving, we are giving you space.
That's interesting.
All right, so let me put it this way so that it will be more understandable. You know that there was a time that we were using, what's it called? Stove to cook. Thank you very much. We were using stove to cook. Not everybody adopted gas. As at that time.
Yeah.
Right? But moving forward, we started seeing more ways to, as a precautionary method, to like keep those things in place. So now, it now brings that, okay, CNG is just coming to light. Now, I think one thing that is supposed to have happened is that they should have they shouldn't have put them out immediately like that.
Okay.
So there should have been a kind of test run, which I know that probably they would have done, but they wouldn't have done it to that kind of intensity, right, at which the vehicle was engaged to get burnt.
Okay.
You understand? So now it gives them, okay, so now is that it has, the deed has been done, but it also gives them a more proactive approach, right, as to prevent that kind of issue in the nearest future. So it's just a matter of a step by step, because yes, they could have foreseen that. They could have foreseen it because it's gas, of course. But it's also now, comes to that accident happens in the industrial sector. Accidents happen, and gas is not an exclusion. Not to talk any device, or let me just put it like that, any device that has to do with gas, accidents are inevitable, but it's just the precautions that matters. So I think, let me just put it that way.
But that's that, okay?
Okay, so thank you so much, Isaiah. I like the fact that you actually started in this good note. So let me come back to what you said earlier. You said we have natural gases here, so it's just to refine it, and you know, the price will not be as the way fuel is right now. But we have refineries. Even though it's not, we don't know this a whole, I mean, not everybody knows this. We have the likes of rivers. There are a lot of them that was mentioned in the newspaper, right? And we have Dangote now. But that's not even what I want to talk on. We have crude, so I don't know why the price of fuel is where it is right now. So let's come back to what you were saying about the fact that we have natural gases. Are there these refineries that you're talking about that can, you know, work on these gases for that would be used for the CNG buses and all? Do we have those refineries in place? That's one. Now, between the news that for this CNG, will be sold at 200 naira, how feasible is that? We need to understand these things, because I like the fact that you said we have these natural gas. Not like we don't have it. Yes. Same as we have crude too.
Yes, exactly.
But we did have, I mean, to some people we have refinery, we don't have refinery. We don't even know what it's looking like, right? The one in Port Harcourt, we don't know if it's in movement right now. Do you get what I'm saying? So we have crude, now refinery, now make the price of this thing, they where it is right now. So what about the refinery for the natural gas?
Compressed natural gas.
Do we have that? And how feasible is the 200 naira that the president said that's what it will be sold for?
Okay, so let's start with for that kind of invention or for that kind of innovation, there is definitely a refinery for it.
Okay.
Right.
I've only seen one so far, which is Ikeja.
So now that's
maybe because it's like
maybe because it's in maybe okay, maybe, yeah, let's say because it's a startup, but maybe because we can also see it, maybe because we are in Lagos, right? We cannot say of other states across the country, because now for a vehicle at Rivers now, that means there will actually be a plant there or a refinery there. They cannot be coming to Lagos to transport because of cost. But is 200 naira visible? Should I say no?
Okay.
Don't let us. Don't let us. Don't let us deceive ourselves.
Okay.
Right, because it comes to a matter of adoption, and I think it's also an economic what's it called, law. The higher the demand, the higher the price.
That's what it is.
So, except if the starting price will be 200 naira, of course.
And they start inflating from 65, 150, 600. I mean, that's how the normal cooking gas started.
Exactly.
Not starting as the price it is now.
Exactly.
I guess it's just a means of making people tilt towards it, because there's a lot of pressure on fuel right now. We were watching one news yesterday where the person mentioned that we need to start, diversifying our energy options.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because a lot of pressure is somewhere, and you want people to start go to the other way, you will find you have to use money to compensate in that sense. This is very interesting, and we'll have to take a short break. When we return, we'll continue our conversations along the lanes of CNG. Stay with us, we'll be right back shortly.
Looking to take your business to the next level through partnerships? Then join us every Thursday at 10 a.m. for Partner Up.
Whether you're an entrepreneur, marketing, sales, or partnership professional, Partner Up is here to give you the tools you need to succeed.
From in-depth interviews with industry experts
to real-world case studies of successful partnership strategies that drive innovation and business growth,
we dive deep into what it takes to form successful partnerships.
Thursdays, 10 a.m.
Don't miss Partner Up.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. This is still Ways Breakfast. We air every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Today, Friday, we're talking tech, a bit of, CNG, gist up and down because that's what we've been hearing. So we started our conversation with analyzing the advantages of CNG and all of that. But we haven't really spread out the disadvantages as much. Now, I heard that to convert your car or your vehicles to the CNG, sometimes you don't have to take away the fuel engine part, that you can work hand in hand. And somewhere in my mind, I'm like, fuel and gas, is this not more
a changeover in the car?
Please, we have to consider that we are Nigerians and we are always thinking of our safety first, because if you want people to embrace this alternative to reduce the tension that we have on petrol, we need to really be sure that this is very safe. Do you understand? So I want you to now explore very well the disadvantages that come and the regulations you think that the average Nigerian can put in place if we're to adopt this CNG. Because you were telling us behind camera that CNG has come to stay. So be an advocate now for CNG.
All right, so let me first start with one of the major disadvantages right now that we are facing with CNG is low, not even, don't let me say low, inadequate gas stations.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, so unlike fuel or petroleum, you can, by the time you walk a street or a road, you can see about, let's say, 5 to 6 petrol stations. So I think that's one disadvantage. So you might have to sweat a bit before you can get to a CNG gas station to what's it called?
To
refill the gas tank, yeah. So I think that's one major disadvantage. Then another disadvantage is that when it comes to modification, or let me say conversion of your fuel car or your fuel vehicle into CNG is very costly.
Imagine. 1.2 million naira.
You didn't have the exact detail. We're talking behind camera with 1.2. Just add a few more millions, you have a car. So what are we talking about?
So you spend an average of between 700,000 naira and 1.2 million naira, depending on the kind of car you are converting.
Sorry, the converting, is it going to still leave the fuel option, or there's an option that maybe if the fuel will be there to be lesser, if it's without the fuel it to be more? How is it like?
Okay, so there is a car, right? There's a car model. They are called hybrid. They operate both on fuel and on electricity.
Okay.
So they are called hybrids. Now, for CNG, right? If you are comfortable with it, as maybe the owner of the car, but I won't advise it for your car to be running on hybrid both mode, petroleum and CNG.
Imagine somebody listening to what you just said you are comfortable, but you will not advise. I'll not take the advice you have given me.
Now let's mention some type of cars. Most cars shipped down to Nigeria from the United States or the UK. I'm not talking about Nigerian used cars. I'm talking about UK used cars. Were modified to use only petrol.
Yeah.
Right. Except maybe the cars of like this China-made car, or maybe GAC cars or Shangan types of cars. Those cars you can say, okay, you can take it back to the GAC company or maybe the Shangan company to help you. Okay, I want to use gas. So let me add gas option. Then it can be a little bit reliable. But for the Lexus that I bought it for petrol reasons. Now, okay, our president said, and I quote, buy petrol for 1,200. Okay, he says, buy petrol for 1,000 naira per liter or CNG at 200 naira per liter. Okay, the economic wiseness to me is okay. Let's go to CNG 200 naira per liter. Let me spend 1.5 on converting my Lexus that is petrol modified to CNG modified because of 200 naira per liter. What are the likely disadvantages or likely effects that will happen to me on the street of Lagos?
On the street of Lagos, okay. So
please remember our temperature. When it rains too much. When the sun comes out, it's the sunshine nation.
All right. So I think let's use your analogy for an example. Is that if you are looking to consider converting your car to CNG, you also have to look at, like I said, cost effective, right? Which, by the way, like our president has claimed, and I quote, CNG is 200 naira.
For now. For now. Yeah, thank you.
So we have to look at, so before your car will undergo that modification, right, the car also has to be like tested, like in terms of the engine capacity and different, you understand? So before it can be certified,
okay, this car
can be switched to CNG. If it is not certified to be switched to CNG, don't bother yourself. You might just, except you want to get a new car that can do that.
So let me just add something to it. What if my car was certified that it can be switched to CNG, but after days or months of using CNG, I realized that it's not working. Can I switch back to petrol?
Okay, so as long as the initial car, the same car that we are talking about, as long as it is from, it is derived from 4, right? So you can easily switch back. It's just a reverse.
Oh, okay.
So now, to switch a car into CNG, right, they have to change things like carburetor and channels where the gas will have to pass through into the engine, right? So now, if you now decide to switch back into 4, so that means they also have to change those same channels back to fuel
channels.
Yeah, to fuel channels. So now, so I think because of temperature and things like that, that was why I said that the cars themselves have to be tested before.
I was even going to ask, sorry, is this CNG more durable than petrol? You know, for petrol, let's say you get 3 liters, and maybe it can last you the whole day or something.
No,
so is
3
CNG
liters.
No, it depends on your car. I mean, it depends on your car. There's some cars that they don't suck fuel. Yeah.
Exactly. So is CNG like more durable? Like maybe you use, I don't know, 10 liters and it can take you the whole week. We need more reasonable advantages.
Okay, so let's say, right, because I've not seen a result that states that. So I don't want to assume. Yeah, I don't want to assume, but I think is right, like you said, if you can buy 10 liters of petrol, right, you can use it for like a day or 2. So, and you necessarily don't have to measure CNG gas in the same unit, that's in liters. You might have to put them in kgs.
Kg.
So let's say, can 10 kg suffice that amount, right? The same level, the same duration. So for that kind of innovation, right, they also want to make sure that it's durable. It's durable and it exceeds the timeline of a normal petroleum car.
Like a
To
restaurant,
encourage the use.
like a popular supermarket in Lagos, they said we're already selling, they're already selling wholesale price for you, so they will not give you nylon. What if they will say because we're already selling 200 naira per kg, we don't assure it, and the longevity is not assured? What about that? Okay, because it's 200 naira, it's already cheap. So even if you buy 10 kg, it's just 2,000. Right. So what if before you drive from Bergen to Lekki, 10 kg has gone?
So now that's still like one of the disadvantages that I mentioned, right? Okay. Because number one is that you can never even know if your gas is leaking in a situation, right? If your gas, not to be scared. Okay. Because
You're not scared,
like
though. I am.
No.
I'm scared. You don't know how to be like that. This one.
So now let's take for example, right? You are using a car, like you said. Now there can be a situation where your engine can be consuming fuel. So now let me retrace that. Not that it's leaking. Now there can be a time that your car can be taking more fuel than expected, consuming more fuel than expected. Okay. So that means there's something wrong with the engine. Yeah. So now there can also be a time, right, that your engine will be consuming more gas than it ought to, right? Yeah. So now, how do you want to be in a safe position so that you not be stranded on the streets of Lagos? That was what I was talking about. Not enough gas stations. Yeah. You understand? Maybe so that you won't have to park your car then take a bike.
Take a bike. I mean, order Uber. I tell you. So I like the fact that you said this, right? So yesterday it was on the newspapers. Was it on the newspapers? I just saw it somewhere in the news that the president's directive now, according to the Minister of State Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, that's on gas now. It said that the president's directive is to convert all the petrol stations now to CNG outlets. So for them to start also selling CNG, right? I want to know what the impact would be both on the society, both on these private entities now, because I mean, what if I don't want to convert my petrol station to start selling this CNG gas and all of that? I mean, I don't know what the rules would be like for them, but I'd like to hear what the impact would be both to them that owns these stations, these fuel stations, then we, the society. I mean, what's the impact going to look like? I'm looking at both the disadvantage and advantage now.
Okay, so let's bring this back home, right? Let's say for a private petrol station, you still have some say on the kind of products
you want to sell. Yeah. I love that.
Right? But someone like an organization like the NNPCL,
those are governmental.
They don't have a say. So I think it's not a matter of the regulations that they put around it, right? So let's take, for example, still another example that while we're adopting cooking gas, right, there was some point that you could not see a filling station sell gas, sell cooking gas.
Sure.
But it got to a matter of adoption.
Yeah. And time.
So time would definitely tell on that. So I think by the time the private companies start realizing safety measures to take, right, and they are confident in them, I think it's a matter of confidence as well. So that they are confident in those safety measures, then they can start adopting and pushing that out.
I was going to ask a question. Okay. I mean, you're very involved in climate change and all this green technology stuff and all of that. Yes, we have CNG. Are we looking at having more of these things come up so that we can have a diversity of energy options in our country? Because I'm really, honestly, even though there are some disadvantages that scares us when it comes to this CNG stuff, I'm positive in the sense that I'm looking at the good implications of it in the future. A lot of stress has been on petrol for too long in this country. Every time, any small petrol price like this, everything is affected. Yeah. So imagine a country or a nation where petrol price is just stable and we have other options that are going. Do you understand? And there's no pressure on the economy. There's no pressure on price of goods and services. So that's now, I want you to let us know if there are other alternatives or green technology, as they call it, that could come up to.
Okay, so there are other alternatives, right? It's just that, let me say, we Nigerians, we are not really open to that. Now, let's take, for example, we have Tesla. Tesla is an electric vehicle. And when Tesla first came in, right, when Tesla was first invented, one of the issues that Tesla saw, right, was that inadequate recharge stations, right? And they brought it.
How did they recharge that? Like
exactly now. So
cold
now,
and head.
so there is
because they moved.
So Tesla brought it upon themselves to create rechargeable stations, right? That before you walk a mile or two, you definitely see a rechargeable station.
That's beautiful.
So just park, pay, and the amount you paid will be converted into the electrical unit that will recharge your car. So now we have that, right? That's an alternative, electrical cars. But just the way CNG right now is being pushed
gradually,
that's also the same way we can also push electrical cars.
So can I quote you that CNG has a future in Nigeria?
Definitely. CNG has a future in Nigeria.
A good one.
A very good one.
And
Thank you for that.
Are you saying this as a strong advocate of sustainable environmental
climate change, environmental, or you're saying it from the perspective of a concerned Nigeria? Okay, let's just, it's high time we switch from petrol.
So I don't want to be biased, right? Okay. And I want to maintain a balance as well. So as a Nigerian, right, yes, I am confident, right? And I really see a future in it, right? At least it will reduce the weight on on what's it called, on petroleum, right? Then as an environmentalist, right, it will also help us because I cannot really imagine that rainy seasons are not the same as rainy seasons anymore, right? And these are due to climate changes, right? So it will also help us and at least restore our ozone layer gradually, right? Because one of the things that is destroying the ozone layer is carbon emission. So at least when we now have the reduced carbon or reduction in carbon emission, then we also have a safer place to be.
Very good. We're about to wrap up the show, but I would like you in few words, let us know what your organization or people like you, this kind of communities, what are you doing to create awareness? We are doing our own part as a media house, as a youth-inclined table conversation thingy to, put out this kind of information out there and enlighten the public. So your community and your organization, what are you doing to create public awareness about the use of CNG and all of that?
Okay, so I like my organization, right? We had a podcast, right? I think that was like a month ago. Funny enough was that the CNG news has not even like
wasn't on the widespread.
Yes, widespread then. And we're only talking about what's it called? Moving from fossil fuel to renewable energy sources.
Yeah, I think I saw something like that.
So, and we, to be honest, right? We always also want to be realistic, right? Is it affordable? No. Is it affordable? No. But is this something that will benefit us? Yes. Now, systems and structures can be placed, right? Policies can be implemented. And that is where we come in. We push out these policies. We let people know the policies and regulations around this, right? So that an average Nigerian youth can actually say something. And when I mean something substantial about it, right? So that wherever they go, right, and they can also take how do I put it, practices, right, reasonable practices to support the movement. Right. So mostly, right, we really do advocate for reduction in plastic usage, single-use plastics, right? And so I realized, like, even while I was coming here this morning, so I bought a bottle of water, and I finished the water, and I held on to the water till I got here.
And the plastic.
Yeah, the plastic. And I had to use the dustbin. So it has become a part of me now that, okay, this is the best way I can keep the country. So keep the country safe. And now, so we're also now imbibing it in them to be able to see the best way they can keep their community safe, the best way they can keep Lagos State safe, the best way they can keep Nigeria safe. So the moment we can take it from the community, then we can spread the wings
across. That's so beautiful. Thank you very much, Opebi Azai Opeyemi. Thank you for
so
gracing our show and lending your voice, to this platform. This is Still Raise Breakfast. We'll catch you again on Monday by 8 a.m. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Prime Time. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?